Hello everyone and welcome to OurVentura TV. I'm Sandra Siepak. On today's show we're welcoming Michael Ellingson. He is the Vice President with Community Memorial Health System here in Ventura County. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Pleasure.
It's great to have you. Tell us about the hospital and some of the important key points that patients and visitors can expect from this really nice 8-acre campus.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to talk a little bit about it.
Good.
And I wanted to start with just saying we've been in this community for over 100 years.
Wonderful.
We started in 1902 and the original hospital still exists in downtown Ventura, the old Bard Hospital.
Okay.
And we've had several iterations since then. And now we've brought the newest and latest addition to the community with the opening of the Ocean Tower in December of 2018.
Which brings me to say you have 250 new rooms
Correct.
in the Ocean Tower, which is a big thing for the community here. Lots to be very thankful for bringing that here. You will now be serving the community even better by having all that space. That's really an incredible amount. Let's discuss some of those new additions that you've brought to the hospital.
Sure.
And some of the things patients can expect when they come here.
Well, one of the biggest challenges in planning when you're building a new hospital is trying to think, what are you building for?
Right.
Because the building's going to last 50 to 60 years.
Okay.
And that's a real challenge in our industry because medicine is changing so fast.
Rapidly.
Technology changes every day, it seems
Sure.
like, that we need to have this crystal ball that says, what's medicine going to look like over the next 50 to 60 years? And
Okay.
I think nobody can accurately predict that. But what we do know in our industry is that more and more healthcare is being taken in an outpatient setting. And what hospitals are going to experience over the next 50 to 60 years is more of the critical care is going to come into hospitals.
Okay.
So as we looked at building this new facility, we only went from 242 rooms to 250. We really didn't grow the rooms, but the shift is in the critical care areas. We went from a 17 curtain-bayed emergency department to 37 private treatment rooms.
Right, which is very, very important.
Absolutely, to take
Right.
care of this community. We went from 3 heart cath labs to 5 heart cath labs, with the busiest heart and vascular program in the county. We grew our ICU. We grew our level 3 neonatal intensive care unit.
Okay.
We grew our what we call our telemetry beds or our monitored beds for the sicker patients.
Okay.
So as we moved over, the change was really in increasing the capability on the critical care side to take care of this community.
You should mention that you are a nonprofit.
Yes.
And raising money to build this new hospital was no easy task.
No.
This was something that really took some thought and money behind it.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, as we started to plan for the new facility, putting together a very prudent financial plan was essential for us because we're an independent health system.
Right.
There's no broad shoulders behind us. We don't have a corporation that we can fall back on.
Okay.
We're not like the county system that has a taxpayer base that they can fall back on.
Sure.
We had to make sure that we planned this prudently and that we could handle whatever that expense was.
Okay.
So part of what we did was we went to the bond market to borrow money, but we also knew that we needed to get into the community and galvanize some local philanthropic support for the building project at hand. And we were extremely pleased that we were able to go to the community with a $25 million capital campaign, and we've now met that and exceeded that. And I think it just says a lot about how this community feels about this local community hospital that's been around for over 100 years.
One of the main features are some of the private rooms now that people really like when they're in the hospital.
Absolutely.
So that's a big thing. Many people feel that a private room is just so much better.
Well, it's better for the healing process too.
Right.
You know, I think when healthcare started in its infancies and back in the older days, you heard the terms like wards. There was wards for patients, right? And that's the way they took care.
Right.
Well, then it went to double beds, and we're probably one of the last hospitals that had double beds, and we've been waiting and waiting for private rooms.
Right.
And so this gave us the opportunity to move from those semi-private rooms to private rooms, and the response has just been overwhelming as far as the popularity of them. And our private rooms are a little bit larger than our semi-private rooms. And they have incredible views of the incredible place we live in, which is Ventura and the ocean here too. So
very nice.
It's been very well received.
Good for the healing process.
Absolutely, it is. Good for the soul.
That's very important. Tell us about some of the equipment now that you brought in, because equipment, medical equipment, for the hospital is extremely important.
Also,
and expensive. So,
thank you for saying that. It's probably one of the biggest expenses that a
Right.
hospital has is
Yes.
technology. So, and it changes all the time. You know, you always hear people say we have the latest. Well, great, you have the latest for a week or 2 weeks, and
Okay.
then something else comes along.
Right.
But moving in gave us a chance to totally equip all the facilities and the equipment that we have. And so we were excited about that with the new ORs that we have coming in and the new database systems that we can utilize within the ORs, the latest cath lab technology for the heart and vascular surgeons. In addition, we were able to partner with GE on all of their imaging equipment, and we're excited to say that we're a West Coast show site for GE, which means we'll always have the latest, greatest imaging equipment for this community.
Very important.
Because of being a show site for them. So
Right.
it gave us a chance to really elevate and bring in the latest technology for this community.
I also want to mention the Cancer Center
Yeah.
that has recently opened at the hospital.
Well, the Cancer Center actually...
It's
been there-
expanded. Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted you to tell us a little bit about
Yeah,
that.
actually, the cancer building on campus, Coastal Communities Cancer Center, was the actual first step in this whole building project.
Okay.
Because the site of the new hospital, the Ocean Tower, was actually on the site where we had several physicians, including our radiation oncologists there.
Okay.
And we needed to clear that land. And so the
Right.
first thing we did was we took a piece of land on Loma Vista and created a brand new cancer center.
Okay.
And moved the physicians into there. And and the services that are being offered within the Coastal Community Cancer Center have just been a real boom for this community, and the type of and quality of the physicians that we've got that have really elevated the cancer care here in this community. No longer do you really need to go down to Los Angeles. You can really get the same
Right.
type of care right here in this community.
Right, which is good for families to
Absolutely.
stay, closer to home.
Absolutely.
I think that means so much to many, many people who are going through that process. You can
that
be a
kind of
little
support
closer.
is incredibly important.
Right. I would imagine you attract many, many good physicians with your hospital now.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that too?
Well, I think that's always been the core of what has made Community Memorial special, has been the physicians and the nurses and the care
Right.
that people get here. As a matter of fact, as we were launching the new hospital, we really launched it under the theme of it's really the same doctors and the same nurses giving
Right.
you that same great care.
That's
We're
good.
just finally matching the facility to them. And I talked about this seismic mandate that got the ball rolling with all these new hospitals, but for us, the two other big reasons were one, we were an older facility. It was time to move. But the third is about those physicians.
Okay.
We've had a great cadre of physicians that have put Community Memorial on the map, but we're all getting a little older,
Right.
and we need to bring that next generation of physicians
Right.
in, and they're going to want and demand a newer facility to do that.
Right.
And it's one of the reasons we also started a very robust residency program. We have about 90 residents now. We are a teaching hospital, and part of that strategy is to kind of keep them in the area too after they
Right.
finish residency, that they love the area, hope that they love the area, and that they'll stay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very important. I know that you mentioned the emergency
Yeah.
facilities. Everybody will agree that having larger emergency facilities really makes a difference. Nobody likes going to the ER and waiting.
No.
So I would hope that in this capacity now, the ER facility has expanded. But
Yeah, very much so. As I mentioned earlier, we went from 17 curtain bays to 37
Sure.
private treatment rooms.
Right.
And we're full.
oh,
And we're full. I think everybody has a tale about waiting in an emergency room.
right.
And we all wish, and everybody does a great job in regards to the hospitals around here, but we all wish nobody would have to wait.
Right.
But we all
Right.
deal with the same thing.
Yes.
Well, the 37 treatment rooms just gives us that capacity to get to people faster.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that is something that's been a real plus for Western Ventura County to have now a new emergency department that's much larger and has the capacity to really take that volume in.
Right. And care for a growing community too.
Yeah, very much
which,
so.
as you mentioned, down the road, things may expand. So
Yeah, it also serves to alleviate those folks that don't have health insurance
Okay.
or can't find a family practice doctor.
Okay, all right.
And all of a sudden, where do they turn?
Right.
They're using emergency rooms.
Okay.
But they need access.
Yes.
And so we all, as an industry, work hard to be able to take that influx in and
Very
take care of
important.
them.
That's good. I will say that I also read that now your neonatal center is also expanded.
It has.
So you've got more room for new moms and babies and children.
Yeah.
So
We've always been the leading birth center in the area, and one of the things the old hospital, just because of the age of it and the limitations of it, is that was a service that was split amongst 2 floors.
okay,
Main labor and delivery was 2nd floor, and then we also put moms and babies on the 7th floor. Well, now we've devoted an entire floor, the 3rd floor, to
Okay.
moms, babies, and kids.
that's great.
Which is really nice. So we've increased the capacity in our neonatal intensive care unit, and that is something that has been extremely well received by the community.
Good.
For those moms and dads that unfortunately have to utilize those services
Right.
with their child to get it
That's
a little
true.
stronger before they can bring it home.
Right.
But now we've got all that complete care on one floor, and it's much more efficient for us.
Good. In addition, you have a lot of medical offices there too, which is nice because, you know, if you have to go in to see your doctor, it's right there at the facility too. So
Yeah.
that's very important for
Oh,
many people.
absolutely, and we've got space to grow. We've
Okay.
got space to put another medical office building in. And keep in mind, as we moved into the Ocean Tower with all the inpatient services, well, the old hospital, the Mountain Tower,
Right.
we're only going to need 4 of those floors, and there's 8 floors there.
Okay.
So we're now turning our attention back to that building, investing into that building, and seeing what we can do to repurpose those other 4 floors. Medical offices could be
Okay.
an opportunity there.
Sure.
We could do business, we could do step-down skilled nursing. There's a lot of wonderful opportunities now that we can do with kind of a
Right.
half-empty building that has been left to us as we've moved into the Ocean Tower.
Yeah, which brings me to my next question, which is what is going to be the future for some of those
Yeah.
offices and floors that you have open now?
Well, that we've engaged a couple firms to help us kind of work through that intellectually on what
Okay.
the opportunities are, and they're going to come back and present to us. But we have been told there's a myriad of options. Some of those I just alluded to, but
Right.
you know, I know the city would love us to do some kind of wet lab space over their new business
Sure.
development space.
Okay.
Really, the opportunities are endless.
Right.
We just need to sit and take a look at it, see what the investment is like to get there, and then move forward. But we're
Good.
excited about the possibilities.
If you can, share with us the website
Yeah.
so folks could get a little bit more information.
Sure.
Go onto the website and take a look at some of the things that you offer if they are looking
Yeah.
for a service or whatever they may need.
Yeah, you simply go to CMHS Health, that's
Okay.
one word, .org.
Okay.
And on there you'll see all the services, but you'll also see an area where you can go to see the information about the new hospital.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Michael Ellingson with Community Memorial Health System.
My pleasure.
And I hope the best for you and the hospital for the future as well. It's
Thank
a
you.
great thing for the community, so I know you guys are doing some great things over there.
Thank you, I really
Terrific.
appreciate the time.
Thank you so much. And thank all of you for joining us on OurVentura TV. I'm Sandra Siepak. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, everyone.